A huge win for the Sacramento Kings after a huge weekend of so much change. The Kings get the win, 116-114 over the T-Wolves. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan talking about this game. We're going straight to courtside to DeMar DeRozan. DeMar, what a win. What was it like to get a win after these last 24 hours?
It's been crazy. It's been a lot going on, not just the last 24 hours, kind of like the last month and a half, however long it's been. But we prevailed. We came together as a team. We knew it was going to be tough, and we stuck it out.
What was it like emotionally, though? I know a lot of these guys with so many long relationships and everything. Yeah. I'm sure emotionally it was different as well.
Yes, especially for a couple of young guys, first time experience something like that. We all wish Foxy the best. It sucks to see a brother leave, but, we got a job to do, and we got to keep pushing forward, next man up.
You mentioned this has been a long month and a half. How have you guys been able to stay together during this time?
Just expressing the best experience is going through something. We've been going through a lot. The only way to get out of that is, prevail through it. I think that's one thing we definitely been doing together as a team. It's been ups and downs, but we kind of just stick together through it all.
Your old buddy is joining this team, Zach LaVine, reunited with him. Yeah. What do you think he brings to this team?
Everything. Man, that's one of the most talented players I ever played with in my career. It sucks. My last 2 years in Chicago, he wasn't healthy. Our first year together, me and him making an all-star game together, just shows the talent that he is and the capability he's able to do. It's amazing. I can't wait till the fans get a chance to witness it.
Well, we're excited to have you guys all come back home. Congrats on a win, DeMar. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
DeMar DeRozan, after a big game for him, 33 points. Deuce, you know what time it is, though.
The beam still works?
The beam still works. Let's light the beam. Man. Brought to you by Northwest Exteriors. Simply the best. Trust Northwest. Oh, yeah, it's bright. It's lit up in the sky for all of Sacramento, for the world to see.
Man, needed that beam after what's been going on for a minute now with the Kings. And what a win tonight for Sacramento. End of a long road trip.
Yeah.
Everyone's itching to get home. You mentioned last 24 hours. DeMar's like, last month and a half.
Like, yeah.
But there's been a lot going on. Coaching change, the De'Aaron Fox stuff. You move on from De'Aaron, Kevin, and Jordan McLaughlin. And you have to go try to win a game on the road after you got absolutely hammered, hit in the face, punked in Oklahoma City. This was an excellent response tonight. I thought the effort was fantastic. I thought they played physical, they played tough, and they came up big down the stretch.
And that's what I loved about this game. You saw how gassed they were there in the fourth quarter.
We've got 2 timeouts. Go ahead, call it. Let's look at it. Ends up being their ball. The Kings hit some big free throws down the stretch, too. So this is just like a gutsy win, man. And this is one that you hope can bring guys together. Yeah, the deadline is still approaching.
Sure.
More things can happen. But for this group to come together tonight and play like they did, fantastic stuff.
It was huge. And it was entertaining, I think, for so many others out there who are like, what is the post-Fox era going to look like? And, you saw some of those games when he was injured, what it could look like. The Kings were still getting some big wins. Small sample size. And now you're going to see more and more of it, but also you're going to be adding a guy like Zach LaVine and Deuce. When we saw the pace being pushed in this game, you and I both are back here going, oh, my goodness, Zach LaVine's going to look good when that ball is going.
Yeah, the pace was fantastic in the first quarter. And then, it did slow down. It did. And I was interested to see how Sacramento was going to handle that. And I thought they handled it well. I was most impressed, I think, tonight. Well, there's so many things to be impressed with. But Malik Monk. Because one thing that, I was thinking about once Fox was potentially getting moved and now moved was, man, these defenses are going to key in on Malik Monk.
And I want to talk more about Malik Monk. But first, let's get to our ultimate performer, brought to you by BMW. DeMar DeRozan. We already talked a lot about DeMar, but just to finish up on him, Deuce, 38 minutes, 33 points, 2 3-pointers. He was 2 of 4, 7 assists as well.
Yeah, 5 rebounds. Debo was awesome. He was absolutely fantastic in this game. Some big threes. He had one where he took about an hour to shoot it. Sabonis like, shoot the rock, man. And he knocked it in. Yeah, I think this was, that wasn't it. I don't know when it was. The reality is DeMar DeRozan came up big. 33 points. You had to he's going to have to carry the load in this situation, especially no De'Aaron Fox now. You had to step up, and he did.
And that's what I loved. It felt like you could rely on someone, especially when you wanted someone to be confident, bringing up the basketball and everything. And it felt like, okay, when Malik was a little bit gassed there at the end, DeMar's like, give me the ball. What was he doing even at the half-court line?
Backing his defender down?
Thank you.
Yeah.
He was backing his defender up all the way at the half-court line like, no, I'm still going to get something to go. I love the way that DeMar played throughout this one. But you started talking about Malik Monk, the pressure that's going to be put on him tonight. A lot was put on him.
Well, and that's the thing. Obviously, Zach LaVine's not here yet. And Malik Monk was facing some tough defense. They're picking him up at half court. You got McDaniels on him. McDaniels usually the guy that's checking De'Aaron Fox. And then they're trying to target Malik. And look at Malik there with that help block on Gobert. But Malik is just a certified bucket.
Yep.
And he still found ways to play too tough, play through contact. I love the fact he's playing 42 minutes in this game tonight. Had to fight through the mental fatigue. Had to fight through the bumps. Gobert giving him a shot in the midsection. And he was still late in this game coming up with some big shots. Malik, that was a performance that I was very interested to see. How was he going to be performing against a team that can key in on him more? He handled it fantastic.
Well, the amount of times that you're like, McDaniels would have been on De'Aaron. McDaniels would have been on De'Aaron. And you saw at times the length kind of bother him. I think even one time Ant ended up picking him as well. Just so much pressure is being put on him as the primary ball handler right now. And he was able to still perform, to still fight through, to push through. And even when when guys looked gassed, looked tired out there, he was like, let's go. Everyone, let's go. Keep pushing the pace. Keep going. Still a playmaker as well with those 5 assists. And I just felt like the paint was just so packed. It was hard to get Domas going at first, but he ended up finishing a lot stronger, 14 points, 11 rebounds.
Yeah, Domas was missing a lot of shots short tonight. I mean, he had some good looks from 3, and everything seemed short. It's going to happen. The guy's played some awesome basketball this year. Like, he's allowed to have an off game. But he also did a great job battling down low, trying to get the rebounds, boxing out. And the Sacramento was able to control the glass in this game. 47 to 36 rebound advantage. And I think that was a crucial stat for this one.
It's a crucial stat because you're going off of what happened last game, right?
And the size and length that they have. I mean, you got McDaniels, you got Reed, you got Gobert. Like, you have a lot of size and length. And yeah, you got punked last game against OKC. It was 70 to 37 rebounding in favor of OKC. So for the Kings to bounce back in that way tonight was big too.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge to see that rebounding number, and just kind of like you're saying from Domas, like you saw him short, even from three-point land. He was 0 for 3, but those looks, they were good. You were just like, ooh, can you use a little bit more legs? Can you look a little bit more confident right there? But someone who was looking confident early on in this game, ooh, it sounds like that's coming up next. When we come back, I'm going to be talking about more about who stepped up big with the Kings. They get the win, 116 to 114. We'll be right back.
Toyota Kings Postgame Live is presented